You know, an old man once told me that the key to a good joke is timing, and then he proceeded to pull out his pocket watch. He then exclaimed, "And speaking of timing, it's time for a joke." I'll tell you that joke at the end of this video. But first, let me tell you a story. Picture this, if you will. A grizzled old man, a baby boomer, grumbling about the world from his rocking chair, a pipe in one hand and a newspaper in the other. No, he's not reading the obituaries. He's too ornery to check if he's on the list. He's contemplating the differences between his generation and all the others, especially those Gen Xers. Back in my day, we didn't have these fancy emojis. He scoffs, puffing out a cloud of smoke. We had to draw our smiley faces on paper and walk 15 miles uphill in the snow to hand-deliver them. He shakes his paper emphatically. And don't get me started on this internet. We had the Encyclopedia Britannica, all 24 volumes of it. If we didn't know something, we had to look it up ourselves. Google. We Googled with our brains and our fingertips. The old man swats at an imaginary fly. And music. These Gen Xers with their grunge and their hip-hop. Back in my day, we had the Beatles and Elvis Presley. We didn't need to scream or wear baggy pants to make good music. He leans back in his chair, a far-off look in his eyes. Life was simpler then. We didn't have all these screens and buttons and gizmos. We had face-to-face conversations. We played outside until the streetlights came on. We respected our elders. The old man suddenly stops, his face scrunching up in thought. Then he chuckles, a deep belly laugh that shakes his entire body. You know what? Maybe we weren't so different after all. We had our own ways of rebelling, our own unique music, our own struggles. Maybe every generation thinks they had it better. Maybe every generation thinks the next one is a little bit crazy. And maybe, just maybe, that's okay. And so ends the rant of the old man, his thoughts on the exploration of the differences between baby boomers and Gen Xers. Because in the end, aren't we all just trying to make sense of this crazy world one generation at a time? Whether you're drawing smiley faces on paper or texting them on a phone, remember, we're all in this together. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got that joke to tell you I promised. Are you ready for it? I couldn't figure out how lightning works. Then it struck me.